the cave of the senses is not what we're about. We're somehow about the upper world, the world of the sun, the solar world outside.
Speaking of Plato's cave, one similarity between that and other people throughout history that were sharing knowledge and wisdom with the rest of the world is that they usually always spoke in analogies and riddles. Um,
Yeah,
what is your interpretation on why that is?
because that's the only way you can speak of it. I don't think it's accidental at all. Um, I don't think human reason and cognition and the senses are capable of speaking of it or knowing it. I think they're precisely a distance from it. That's why they are what they are. Um, so it's, I've been very informed here by the work of Ian McGilchrist, by the way, who speaks about and writes about the two hemispheres of the brain and how one is primary in the modern West and the other is suppressed. And it's the left hemisphere that's primary. The functions of the left hemisphere, like language and ego and reason and senses, are dominant. And the primary functions of the right hemisphere, um, intuition and comparison and wholeness and storytelling, are not dominant. They're woo woo, to use your earlier thing. The problem is that the form of consciousness that can beam through the right hemisphere can only speak in the woo woo. It can't speak in the mathematics and the analytic reason. That's silly. You're asking the fish to speak as the fisherman. It's not going to happen. So this is why I say we have to get comfortable with image and narrative and story and symbol, and we have to stop calling it woo woo, for one thing, and we have to start understanding it and interpreting it. And this is why you need historians of religions, you need anthropologists, you need people who are comfortable with those forms of expression, and you need artists, by the way, who work in that world. They don't just understand it; they actually work in it and as it. So, but these are all the things we've dismissed. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know about I don't know about Austria, but certainly in the States, we have defunded things like history and art and religion and philosophy, and it's all STEM, 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 and STEM is great, but it's not adequate. It erases us. So that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Great, you can build a refrigerator, but you can't talk about a human being anymore. How is that helpful?
Would you say that one can experience a purer form of reality but not understand it intellectually?
Yes, I would.
Great.
I would say that. I would say that's what mystical experience is. It's an altered state of consciousness and embodiment that knows something directly and often cannot speak of it indirectly. It cannot put it in ordinary language. Ordinary language, I mean, whether you speak German or English, I mean, there's a subject and there's an object and then there's a verb. I mean, it has a particular structure to it. And that is not what is happening in these states. They're not even linguistic, in this sense. So you can't speak of them, and that doesn't mean they don't happen and that we don't have access to them and that human beings can't know them. They just know them in a non-linguistic way.